Can I stay this close to you?
Yeah.
Just finish it? Okay. So, the special condition, if I may, is everyone still good? You want to bring that up? Can we bring it up?
Sure.
Hang on, Katrina's gonna bring that up, so we don't have to look at anything else.
Just had it. There we
It's
go.
okay. Take it easy. We're good. You good?
Yeah.
I love you.
That's interesting.
There we go. Bring that up.
Just need to get larger.
So Katrina's bringing up the draft if you don't have it in front of you. But what I put together for special condition number 1 was that the limit of the permanent clearing adjacent to the inland wetlands will be identified on the final plan as a non-encroachment boundary. That's a legally defined boundary in our regulations that identifies that any activity beyond that boundary requires review and permit by the commission. The second special condition was that that boundary needs to be located in the field prior to the start of site clearing and approved. If you recall, there's going to be some work within that boundary to remove the debris and the old spoils and stockpiles from the past use of this as a construction salvage yard. So, and there's going to be some delicate work within there. The sediment fence will be beyond that, but to have that boundary noted so that the fellows know to keep as many trees and shrubs up as they can. That was part of the construction sequence in the plan submitted to the commission. Number 3, that the final plan shall identify the limits of the restoration. So the limits of the restoration and the non-encroachment line will coincide, and that whoever manages the property will know that's the end of the mowing and that everything else is a protected area. I put in special condition number 4, the next page, Katrina. Because due to the possibility of seasonal high groundwater, they may need to make some modification to the planting plan before they finish the basins, and I wanted them to have the opportunity to do that with the approval of your staff, instead of having to come back and modify any plan with the commission. Hopefully you're okay with that. And then number 5, that the basin needs to be completed and stabilized before receiving the site runoff. And number 6, that the basin needs to be during construction, post-construction must be inspected by the design engineer, certify that it was constructed according to the approved plans. And then number 7, we require an as-built survey so that the operators and future maintainers of the site know where all the parts are. And number 8, I recommended monitoring of the basin plantings and for stabilization for 2 years. Following completion of the basin. What? Oh, we have a hand raised. To make sure there's enough coverage and that there's no erosion. In coordinating with the chief engineer of this project, Brennan Hanfield, he had requested that on line number 2, that instead of the inspections being conducted by a wetland scientist, can also include or qualified professionals such as himself. Because it's not necessarily a wetland, it's an engineered structure. So I would recommend that the commission consider a modification of this draft language to include monitoring of the stormwater basin planting, slope stabilization, and substrate stabilization shall be conducted by a wetland scientist or other qualified professional. Everyone else is, so we'll take you off mute to find if that's okay, and then putting blankets on anything over 3 to 1, and everything else is standard. You guys are all on mute, so if you have any comments, you gotta come on.
I think it's very well written,
Thank you.
Yeah,
very inclusive. And it is kind of an unusual one.
yeah, we haven't seen one of these with that many conditions in a long time, but I thought it was very well done.
That's what I have.
I'll make a
Go ahead,
motion
Mark.
to approve the draft as written with the proposed modification.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ivy.
Ivan?
Discussion?
I think it's well written.
Since I believe the commission's ready to vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0.
6-0.
Thank you, everybody.
We have no new applications pending right now, Mr. Chair,
Okay,
and I have
and
no new violations to report at this time.
and
We-
that's just a placeholder for us.
Just a placeholder for us.
Correct, correct. I actually met with the wetland scientists this week to discuss their potential restoration of that old pond.
All right. Next item of business is election of officers. Uh,
I think with the absence of both Rich and Dave, maybe we should, and Jessica, that perhaps we should postpone this till the next meeting.
Is the rest of the commission, are they ready to vote?
Well, I don't have a slate of officers. I haven't received any candidates.
I think
Well,
we postpone.
I talked to Rich and he would like to be chairman, and I replied to you and replied to the rest of the commission that I would like to continue to be secretary.
Okay,
That works for me.
works for me.
So I think we can proceed. I talked to Rich today. You know, he was in agreement that we could proceed. Maureen,
Yeah, it's totally up to board as long as you've communicated with each other.
yes, I've communicated with Rich.
Staff action.
I think just stay the course.
I'll entertain nomination for chairman.
I'll nominate Richard F. Muckle.
Is there a
Second.
Second by
Julie.
Julie. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Seeing there are none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Second office is the office of secretary. I'll entertain the motion.
I'd like to make a
Maggie?
motion to nominate Tally as secretary.
Second.
Is there a second by Wade? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I consider the board ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Is there any correspondence, Maureen?
No, but I do have a reminder for board members, if you're interested, the Board of Selectmen budget hearing meeting, which will be discussing the Conservation Commission budget, is scheduled for next Tuesday, February 2nd at 4 p.m. It's a virtual meeting, and you can go to the town's website for the passcode, or I can forward it to you.
Okay.
Noted. Do we have any bills to pay?
No,
Okay. So is there any other business anybody wants to bring up? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn,
So made.
made by Wade,
Second.
second by Ivy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. This was a
Stay
short
healthy,
one.
everyone.
Nice
Take
and
care.
short.
Have a good day.
Have a nice
Take care now.
evening.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
In 2 weeks.